Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. I hope this is fine. I can't hear myself, so I hope everything's fine. And today I'm super excited. We got a little bit of jazz. We're gonna listen to some George Benson. I've heard some George Benson before, and actually, I do use a technique that he does very much, which is play octaves on the guitar. That's pretty much all I use. I know he's a very virtuoso on the guitar, especially, when it comes to jazz. But that's just a little technique that I heard it. I was like, who's this? George Benson. Oh, let me try it. It's very easy, cool. It's very when you get lost or something, when something happens, it's kind of a cool way to find the way back. And I don't know, when there's some like weird chord progressions going on, it's kind of like easy to play a little bit of octaves to get back into the groove. I don't know. It has worked for me, and not just in jazz and any kind of music, when you improvise. So today we're going to listen to some George Benson, and this song is called My Latin Brother. And this is from the album Bad Benson, released in 1974. And I wanted to thank one second, because there was a little bit of a name change. This is Eric from Queens. So that's the YouTube name. So if you want to thank someone for this request, please thank Eric from Queens. That's the official name. There was a different name before. That's why I hesitated, not because I don't remember who this was from, because he did change his name, which is a cool thing for a YouTube name. So yeah, so Eric from Queens, again, thank you so much. You've requested songs before. I appreciate it. But yeah, today we're going to listen to My Latin Brother by Bad Benson, George Benson, and let's see what happens. I'm super excited. I've been listening to a lot of fusion lately. I've been practicing a lot of, fusion music, jazz, and all that stuff. And yeah, it's very, very dense. It's very difficult. But, that's why listening to music is so good for learning as well, playing by ear, trying to figure out what's going on, the chord progressions, the improvisation, all that stuff. The best thing is to try to figure it out by ear and connect it and see what's going on. That's when you learn, I think, the most. So let's, without further ado, let's give it up for George Benson. Thank you again so much, Eric, for this. And here we go. If you're new to the channel, please do like the video. If you think it's worth liking, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, comment below, watch the video, share it, all that good stuff, that YouTubers tell you to do. It does help out, it really does. I'm super excited. We just hit 109,000 subscribers. But then again, there are, songs that only a couple of hundred people listen to. That's just the way it is, Since we don't really do viral stuff, we are doing trailers and stuff like that. A little bit more, but it is really like the big stuff that we just don't do because it's so commercial. And now and then we do it, but it's just not our style of video, I guess. I don't know. We might end up listening to other stuff in the future, but for now, we're listening to, if you're a fan of the channel, you know what we listen to, and that's the way we roll. But hey, let's give it up for George Benson. Thank you so much. Here we go. There it is. Sweet tone. That tone. Oh man, wonderful. Just a pleasure to listen to this man. And it's like it is such a difference, to listen to jazz fusion with a clean guitar. There is it is different from with the distortion. I don't know, it just comes over completely different. And those arpeggios he was doing, his scales, it's just his the way he talks with the guitar is so fluent, and I love the tone, um, the picking, his picking style, There's all this stuff that you listen now to some people that, rely highly on the pick, or then there's people that don't pick at all. They play mostly legato. Then there's the hybrid picking. You can hear that all. You hear it all. And I love this, and by this time he was already like a seasoned player in the 70s because he started very young. I was just reading about it. He started at 19 and with jazz. So so by the time he recorded this, he was already, up there with the big guys, and crazy. And I mean, another time again, Steve Gadd on the drums. He's like on in the 70s. I think he was so busy. I think he would like just walk from one session to the other and just do one takes. That's crazy. I love that there's take 5 on this album. Um, as a album opener, and it's so funny because I thought it was Paul Desmond and Dave Brubeck, I think, wrote the take 5, but I could be wrong. I thought it was both of them, but it says only Paul Desmond here. But I mean, it makes sense. They were playing together always during that time. Something is going on with my computer. It's like going on and off. But yeah, Ron Carter on the bass, Kenny Barron on the piano, beautiful piano solo, just wonderful. It's very from the jazz fusion that I listen to mostly, which is with electric guitar. It's a beautiful change of pace to go back and listen to players like this. We got Pat Martino, which beautiful. Pat Metheny, there's a lot of Pat Metheny that's just with a clean guitar. It's an electric guitar, but it's a clean channel, and it is just different from players that use a lot of fuzz or distortion, which I love as well. Scott Henderson, and I always talk about Alan Holdsworth, and I'm sure he was a fan of George Benson. And I mean, he listened to more, I think, sax players, but I love that this is a guitar player's jazz fusion. You can hear the guitar influence, and his own personal language that he came up with. He's not trying to imitate anyone. He's playing his own his own style, and people then copied him. Like Pat Metheny is a huge fan of George Benson. He took a lot from him, and he says it even, and it's so cool. Shout out to Rick Beato. Like, he really, like, he did it, man. I love, there's a video that Rick Beato made, and he's like, I recorded my first, I got high. No, he was like, I got signed in my 30s. We were dropped in my 40s. And then in my 50s, I started the YouTube channel. And now look, he's doing what people only dream of, interviewing like these people. Like here, when you go to Google and you type in George Benson, it comes up Rick Beato, the George Benson interview. Like, what a lucky guy. But what I love that it paid off. The hard work paid off for Rick Beato, and then now he's interviewing these people, and it's literally on the page. When you look up George Benson, you see the age, 81 years old, and you see the Wikipedia, and then right there the George Benson interview with Rick Beato. It's such a wonderful thing that Rick can interview all these people, and we've seen all my favorite players. He already has talked to them. We got Yngwie Malmsteen and Steve Vai, and Marty Friedman and Paul Gilbert, Pat Metheny. Unfortunately, Alan Holdsworth passed away, almost 10 years ago now, in 2016. No, 20, was it 2015? I think it was 2015 or 2016. Worst day of my life, but I don't even remember. Let's see. Yeah, 2015, unfortunately. Oh no, 2017. Well, it's such a, I don't really want to think about it. For me, the guy is alive, I don't even think of him like as in dead. So, yeah, it's just something I want to erase from my mind. Worst day of my life. But I just remember I was sitting in a parking lot and then, waiting for Alexia, and I don't know, I just didn't want to go in. And then one of my good musician friends, a drummer, he texted me and he's like, "Oh my God, you won't believe what happened. Alan Holdsworth just passed away today." And I just started bawling. I can't. It was literally like losing, like when you lose a family member. I was like in shock. I was just shattered, because I'm such a fan, and at that time I'd been already listening to him for maybe, I think I started 2004, 2005. Only his solo stuff. I got into his like stuff from the 70s way later, and I haven't even heard it all. I'm still trying to understand his solo work, because his early work is completely different, and he doesn't even recognize his early stuff as his stuff, because he was like, I started to really be able to express myself with my solo stuff, and that was around the 90s and the 80s and 90s. But back to George Benson. What a wonderful player. What a rich vocabulary when it comes to improvisation. I love the track, the drumming, the bass playing. His improvisation is wonderful. What a wonderful human being, and I'm so happy he's still with us. Today's a very sad day. We lost Paul Di'Anno of Iron Maiden. I'm gonna post something on the channel about that, because he was really the vocalist that made me listen to Iron Maiden. So, but yeah, again, thank you so much, Eric, for this wonderful request. I wish we had a bigger jazz community. That's why I also keep rambling on, because the video is more for you, honestly, because I know it's not going to get that many views, because it's just the channel right now is more focused on rock and prog, and that's the people that tune in. Unfortunately, even though we have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, people just don't watch jazz or the music that we listen to. We have to post something very, very commercial to get lots of views. But it's it's not about the views. It's more about sharing and talking and appreciating this wonderful music that is jazz, and prog rock. And a lot of people don't, unfortunately don't get it. They just, it is a lot, it is a lot to get into jazz or fusion or progressive rock. And for some people, it's just not, it doesn't talk to them, and it's understandable. I don't want to come off as like, oh, that's the music, that you should listen to. Otherwise, no. But yeah, I hope we built a larger jazz community. That's what I wanted to start the channel with. But we started with prog, we just got into it, and then here we are. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Eric, for sponsoring this video. I appreciate it. Thank you all. We see you in the next video.